EFCC recovers 1 billion naira from permanent secretary working directly with Works and Housing Minister FASHOLA. The civil servant, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) recovered 1 billion naira from has been identified as a permanent secretary in the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. There's a Federal Ministry of Works and Housing and there are homeless people in Lagos? Babatunde Fashola is the minister in charge of the ministry. And there are people sleeping under the bridge. Okay. EFCC Chairman Abdul Rashid Bawa had in May, while appearing before the Senate Committee on Finance, said the agency recovered 1 billion naira from the bank account of a civil servant. It is good for us to observe for now and wait for your committee to conclude its work so that whatever you report you have and anyone that your committee decides, we are ready to take it up from there, he said. We have recovered 1 billion naira sitting in the account of a civil servant last week. Bawa had refused to mention the name of the individual civil servant. Speaking to Sahara reporters on Thursday, a source at the anti-graft agency identified the civil servant as a permanent secretary working with Fashola. The civil servant the chairman was talking about is about the permanent secretary working secretary directly with Fashola. Okay. Wait, what? I mean, first of all, apart from, okay, fine, 1 billion naira again, at this point, it's not really shocking, okay? We know these people being corrupt. But I think what is even more, I don't know, interesting / funny is that there is a Federal Ministry of Works and Housing. And if for that position, 1 billion naira can be linked to that, I mean, it was there, then what is going on in the country? Because this is very much confusing. How come? And then there are people on the street. There are homeless people in Lagos. Homeless, as in have nowhere to stay, sleeping under the bridge. They're literally lured and vulnerable to different sort of insecurity crimes, and even lured into inflicting these crimes. So I'm very confused. And then 1 billion naira from someone working with Fashola. I mean, he's a permanent secretary in charge of that. Okay, fine. But working with Fashola, I mean, to be honest, Fashola was seen as a very for Lagos State, I think he was very well loved and received, which that's good. I think everything went downhill in the NSAS process where I don't know who asked for investigations, but he came, found a camera. It was just very funny to watch and cringe because it was like, okay, fine. After they've cleaned, after the place was burnt down, a camera, not even attached to anything, a random camera was there, and all of a sudden he was acting like as if he has just discovered gold or something. I think that's where it fell. I think that's where the support, I guess, for him fell. But I think to a very large extent, he was received quite nicely by Lagosians, which I guess that is good. But again, this just shows that if this is true, or I mean, if this is true, it was recovered, first of all, the 1 billion naira, and it was in relation to someone working closely with Fashola. So again, his name is related, but it's not confirmed if he's part of that or a part of a scheme where his, the money was found in accounts. It isn't. But this is not a good look for Fashola, definitely not, especially as, you're in charge of housing or works and housing or housing and works, which is just like more, I don't know how to describe it. It's more ironic because the state that not going to lie again, back to Fashola's case, Lagos was actually very much improving with all the flowers. People make fun of that, but again, I think Lagos very much was improving when he was in power. I don't think I can take anything away from the man. Again, he was very much, of course, with every government he would have their opposition and all that, but I think for him, he did a very much good job. I mean, according to the people, to a very large extent, a lot of people do like Fashola. Well, someone here says, corruption under Mr. Integrity has been greeted with the loudest volumes ever in history of Nigeria. But guess what? The Sai Babas and the Buhari Deans that say that their Messiah is fighting against corruption, and that is why corruption is fighting back. Come on, guys. Let's not be stereotypical. Wow, okay, cool. So somebody here says, thief, I'm not a thief, rogue, I no be rogue. You be armed robber, I know be armed robber. This, I'm guessing, is very similar to a Fela lyric. And the person comes and says, Fashola executed all contracts of his 8 years in Lagos without making cost open. It's always cultic, shrouded in secret since he came to power. Onikpanu to Anthony and back every year. All right. I think the newly appointed EFCC chairman Bawa is really working. I pray that God uphold him not to later compromise and protect him from harm from others. Amen. I don't want to make it sound bad, but if you're working for the government and you are not getting attacked by that government, maybe you're not really making that impact to make the government scared. Because again, in this case, I mean, Bawa is actually doing his job apparently. But again, we have to forget, as much as we think, okay, fine, these politicians come together for the specific, how do I say it? For the specific, frustration of Nigerians, as we may think. They can also have beef with each other and just decide that, you know what, I'm gonna make sure that I sabotage whatever your efforts are. And they'll do that in various ways. For example, I don't know who said, but apparently, so I think someone exposed the APC for being just a body that was made up of other little parties. Which basically is like they're trying their luck. They go register with APC, they think, okay, APC may win, and if APC wins, of course they'll get their share of whatever is to be stolen. But that's it, to be honest. That's it. Someone here says, at the end of the day, nothing will be done to him but just to recover billions from looters without prosecution. Fighting corruption is needed. I don't know. What do you expect? A country that defends Malami, a country that enables monopolies, a country that is so corrupt that we get desperate to go back to a less intense level of corruption. What is that? That is with all due respect, that is absolutely bonkers. Yeah. Someone says youth and good Nigerians should stand up and support this Mr. Bawa EFCC boss to do the right thing without fear of elite and political class. Listen here, it is that elite and political class that would put him there in the first place. So again, the man is compromised. I don't even think we should take that risk. I would say it's very unintelligent to take that kind of risk and say, oh, let's trust him, and it's nah. Because again, to get do you know what EFCC is? If EFCC decided to work as it should, do you know how many politicians will be in jail by now? Exactly. So that's it. Put what you think about this, and do not forget to like and subscribe.